welcome. Thank you so much for coming along, you guys. I am not a gossip blogger. I just like to share my thoughts on what's being shared to the world and how it can apply to everyday thoughts. My thoughts may sometimes be out of alignment with others, but I have no malicious intentions, just pure entertainment. So let's get it. I recognize that there are some grammatical errors. So again, rock with me. I'm working on it, you guys. I'm working on it. All right. Again, if this is your first time checking me out, thank you for joining me. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button because I definitely like coming on here. I like to sit here and um, actually, be the best that I can be. Tonight we're going to talk about Beyonce's sneak attack. We're going to talk about Duane Martin's new fiance and ratchet cruise ship activities. Don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out on the bubbly, which is me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. And this is my opening. So this is what I'm actually supposed to say. I have a script here, but I want to make sure I say it so that we know. Hi, I'm Champagne, and welcome to Champagne Thoughts, where I give my thoughts on things that are going on today and how it relates to your everyday person. If this is your first time here, thank you so much for joining me. And don't forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you're notified when I release new content every week. Um, you know, uh I know. I like the way that sound. It's tough, like because you want to do these off the top of your head. You want to do it off the dome, but sometimes like it comes out so weird. So that's why I have a script. So I'm not just doing like a what's it called? Like a word soup. I'm just spitting things out towards you. So let's go and do our thing. So this week we're going to talk about Drake sharing a self-love video uh, or Keith Lee, who is a food critic, he used to be a fighter turned food critic. He responds to the stingy business owner. Dwayne Martin it says gets married, but he actually is engaged, and the comment section goes nuts. Usher's halftime performance is mid. That's what everybody was saying. Beyonce's going country. She made some sneak attacks. She dropped some stuff, and it looks like our girl's going country. Black women being ratchet on a cruise because, according to some people, what's new? That's what we do. So let's get into it. Let's talk about my babe, Drake. Okay. I love Drake. I have been a Drake fan for like um ever, right? Let me set timer for 28 minutes. I have been a fan for when he came out. Not when back in the Degrassi days because nobody was checking for Jimmy back in those days. But when he came out with October's Very Own, I was like, okay. My friend Everett got me into him. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this guy. I like him. I like what he's saying to me. And as you know, Drake he comes out with great albums all the time. Last week, Drake released his own special video. Yes, he released a video of him stroking his pipe. I ain't talking about his tobacco pipe. I'm talking about his little tallywhacker, his little dilly dally. I don't want to say and get pinged, but he's showing his little pleasure stick. like it's like, and let me tell you, I feel like he has something. He's a little cocky. If you're like, I gotta see this video, I can't obviously put it on YouTube, but go to Twitter, type in Drake video, and it's gonna come up. It is not safe for work, so I'm just gonna give it to you right there. And he's not doing a lot. Like the guy's just sitting in the back. He has his as you see, he has his camera pointing at the mirror, and he's just like going at it. He's just showing you what he's got. And like how this is how crazy like the misogynistic thing is in the world. Like this dude released a whole entire video of himself doing his thing. He wasn't canceled. He in fact got some new fans. Like it's cool. Like it's Drake. If anything, he looks a bit cornier to some people and a little thirsty. Oh, I didn't mention he released his own self-love video. So, but if a woman does that, it's kind of like she's a whore. She's a hoe. That's gross. A dude does it, it's like, ooh. I mean, it is what it's society, and it's going to take a while for that to kind of change up if it changes up. But just calling it out, how interesting his video was perceived. Like he's not canceled. Nobody's calling him a whore. If anything, he got some more people interested, and he has some dudes admiration. There's guys out here like I can see why you taking people's girls. And there were guys who were looking at the video. And again, like, I don't know. I think people are so quick. And one, there's nothing wrong with homosexuality. There's nothing wrong with being gay. I don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. It doesn't conflict with um, my moralities and what I view in any way. But I know how some Christians, they're not down with that. So that's not what I'm here for. But what I'm saying is people are interested because it's a celebrity. Like you want to see what it looks like. You want to see you're curious, right? Everybody's curious. Everybody wants so much information, and we're in an age of where everybody wants something. Everybody wants to know everything about everyone. And I don't even think they come from a place of I want to generally know just because I'm curious. I'm a curious little kitty. Like I'm just nosy. I'm not going to do anything with the information. I'm not going to go anywhere with the information. I'm just a little curious kitty. And I like to know that information. But many people like to know that information because they're going to use it against you. They're going to sit there and compare. They're going to look at you. I think a lot of guys, but I haven't heard a lot of guys like shit on Drake anymore. It's just kind of been silent. It kind of went away. Like it was a hot topic for like 3 days last week, and then poof, everyone disappeared. No one was talking about it anymore. But I thought that was so wild that you released your own like special pleasure video. What are we doing? And supposedly from the video that I saw, Drake did it because he wanted some more attention. Like being a millionaire, being one of the going down as probably one of the top rappers in history. Regardless if you believe that he's a good rapper, but he's going to go down as a top rapper. That's just he's been putting in the time and the work. Um, he needs more attention, which is showing his little tallywhacker on the internet. So long story short, people love to stay relevant, no matter what it is. People like to stay out there in the limelight, especially some of these people who are famous. They just want to be out there because they need more things to talk about. And I will say Drake probably feels a little lonely. Dude has released a couple albums and they've made splashes amongst his fans, but ain't nobody really talking about Drake all like that right now. He's just people are talking about Drake because of his antics. And that's sad. I don't want him to go out like that. I want him to just get back in the studio and just earn our love again. But not with your pipe, baby. Not with that. Hey Ray, thank you for coming by. I appreciate you. Oh, she is a great girl. Ready to party. She is an MC host. So check her out. Please follow her. She's amazing, a beautiful soul. I can't wait to hang out with her. So let's go to the next slide on today's show. Keith Lee responds to truck owner. So if you're late to the party, Keith Lee, who used to be a fighter, I think he was an MMA fighter. So dude has hands. Doesn't have anything to do with this, but I'm just sharing it with you. Keith Lee, he goes around and he's a food critic and he has some clout. And he's like the nicest guy when he goes to try these foods and he's gone all over the place. There was a little bit of a backlash down in Atlanta. You had people who, he came and kind of called them out and they didn't like that. So he has the capacity to bring you a whole bunch of business because when he shows up, people are just like, oh snaps, I want to get some of that. So if your food is good, and he's a pretty good guy. It doesn't seem like he's off. He tries to be as unbiased as possible, but people, everybody can't be objective and they don't know how to take constructive criticism. They always feel like it's an attack. And that's what's really hard with people in businesses. They feel like things are an attack. And if they feel like it has something to do with them, they think you're basically calling them a piece of shit or you're a piece of trash. When that's not the case, you're just saying, "Hey, these are my views about what you're making," and oftentimes it is objective or it's subjective to different people's tastes. So, for instance, I'm not a fan of super salty food. So, for me, if it's a place that's heavy on seasoning, it may not be my jam, but it may be somebody else's jam. And the goal is like he goes to black owned businesses to give them shine and to help them marketing because that's where a lot of black owned businesses um, kind of have an issue with, which is marketing. So he goes to this lady named Sweetly. I want to say Justly Sweets. I'm not sure. So this woman right here. Long story short, he goes there, tries the food, and she's the only cook back there. He goes there, and on this day, there's a barber who's there. There's another lady who's there, and it really to him it looks like a team effort. So he gets there and he sees everybody grinding hard. He eats the food, it's delicious. And then he tells the lady, gives her specific instruction, gives him like 4 stacks. Boom. Take this money. I don't care how you divvy up, but give the hair cutter guy 1,000, give the lady over here 1,000, and you guys keep the rest. So, it's like a nice little split. Cool. You just got 4,000. You just came into an extra 1,000, 2,000. She has a son. She's probably gonna give her son 1,000. Like it makes sense, right? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, apparently the lady that he wanted to give $1,000 to, not the cook, but it was another lady who was there helping. She never receives the money, and her brother was the guy who was cutting hair. So she goes on live because apparently the lady and her son who has a huge TikTok following, they didn't give her the money. They like pretending like Keith didn't say anything. So she goes on TikTok, which is where most, I mean, I cannot I cannot fault her for wanting to receive some type of retribution. Is that what I want to say? I don't think it's what I want to say. But I can't fault her for wanting to receive some type of help or recoup some of the losses when it came to the money because Keith Lee like gave specific instructions. And they were recorded. That was the crazy part. There was recorded and she gets on there and she talks about how the lady didn't give her the money. The lady didn't give her brother any money and the lady like just, kind of blocked her and is not really dealing with her. So she goes on live and she says this. Everybody starts blowing up the lady. Ooh, ew. Everybody starts blowing up this lady. They start talking about her. They're like, you're not going to get rich with that money. You're not going to make it like you're not going to make it that way. You're being, you're being mean. You're being negative. You're being evil. Like, give him that money. You're over here not blocking your blessings because you're being money hungry. You just got 4 stacks. And I get it. Don't get me wrong. I understand, like, if you work hard and you feel like I deserve that. But he told you what to do. He told you what to do. So then the cook and her son gets on YouTube or TikTok and whatever Facebook Live and they give their point of view of their story, which was very gaslighty. They came here and said, well, they're not even a part of the crew. We have no idea why they just showed up. I didn't even bring them here. Da, 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 da. Like just gaslight central. So I got this video from I'm Stacy. And we're gonna see if they'll let it watch us a little bit. But it's a video. Oh, here it is.
Oh man, so the greedy food truck lady from Sweetie Season, she has heard Keith Lee tell her that she was wrong, and now she's responding. Check it out right here.
Hi everyone, I am reaching out to you guys today because
So this isn't the right one. Hold on, let me go to the part because Keith Lee comes back and he addresses them because apparently they just have comprehension issues. So she goes on there, gaslights everyone. That's not what I think he said, and she had real like mean auntie energy. So we're gonna go to the part of where Keith Lee gets on there and address it because obviously people are just like, I don't understand what happened.
There are a few conflated and confused things that's going around about the situation. So let's talk about them. 3 days ago, me and my family went to Sweetly Season food truck. Number one, Nobody had any idea we was coming. They found out we was in Dallas, like everybody else found out we was in Dallas, because we was posting videos in Dallas. So in hopes of us coming, they had t-shirts made and they was on live all day. So me and my family wasn't in cahoots with none of this. We was all under the impression that they were a team, and this was a normal routine for them. The barber being there, the braider being there, family being there, a lot of people being there. This is our first time here. We are customers. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Number two, I was never under the impression that haircuts was free. Again, my family was watching the lives. We knew that he was cutting hair for $40.
So what he's addressing right now is when they got the lady, she got on the live and her son got on the live, and they made it seem like he wasn't even charging anything. It was free. He just started cutting hair, and he wasn't charging anything. And again, gaslight tactics.
Walked up and I said I want to get $1,000 to the barber to do free haircuts and $1,000 to the braider to braid hair. It was because in the original video, the son said it was slow due to marketing. That's marketing. God willingly, after we post the video, there will be a line out the door. If there's a line out the door and there's a barber and a braider doing hair while people are waiting, that's marketing. So again,
Okay, so the lady, she was the braider. I couldn't remember what she was, but she was the braider. So he gets on there and he basically reads the right, like, ma'am, you're incorrect. You tried it. So let's go back to her apologies. And when you look at her, you could tell she's just like had old girl not did that, she would have never gave her the money. I don't think she would have. I think she would have just super played her, which was it's like you can't play somebody over $1,000, $2,000 because you're going to get more back. If you just chill out for a second, you're going to get more back.
Food truck lady from Sweetie Season, she has heard Keith Lee tell her that she was wrong, and now she's.
Son, he already called or texted, however, he got in touch with Sherelle and asked her if she could get the money. From what
Sherelle is the lady who is the braider.
here, she is refusing to get it. So now I am asking, and asking my followers to please tag her and tell her Sweetly Season is asking her to please come pick up their money.
Ooh, she got a nice little attitude. That's like you're that person who they made a mistake and they wronged you, and the teacher or the adult was like, "All right, tell them to say sorry," and they're like, "Sorry." Keep your little state apology. If money wasn't involved, I would have told her to keep all of that apology. But you see that she once Keith Lee released that, a lot of people had said they were not going, even before Keith Lee released that. When Sherelle got up there and she said her piece, people were just kind of like on the fence. But when her and her son got up there and they said their piece, they really shot themselves in the foot. And a lot of people were just like, I'm not coming to see you anymore. So it was in her best interest to go and to resolve it and to fix it. Now, will she save her business? I mean, I don't know. Only time will tell. But I want to be on her side. I want to be on her side because I believe things happen, but it's just the attitude of it. And when you just have her attitude is just, ugh, when you have that type of energy, good things do not come to you. So the moral of the story with this is just always do the right thing. If you do the right thing from the beginning, you don't have to worry about anything. That does not mean things will always go your way. It doesn't. Like people do the right thing every day, and sometimes some of the craziest things happen. But don't let that deter you because I guarantee you more good comes from you doing the right thing than bad. All right, let's keep moving. Dwayne Martin gets married. Oh, if you guys don't know who Dwayne Martin is, Dwayne Martin was married to Tisha Campbell, formerly Tisha Campbell Martin, who was Gina from the Martin Show, or she was what was her name? Kyle. I can't remember. Jay Kyle from My Wife and Kids, which is it's so cool that she actually had not one good television show. She had two television shows. She was married to Dwayne Martin. Now, Tisha Campbell and Dwayne Martin have been together for like 20 years. And a lot of the jokes that went around was Tisha was the breadwinner and Dwayne just did above the rim. And then he was just friends with everybody else in Hollywood. Even Housewives or House Husbands of Hollywood, which was a Kevin Hart show, really played on the fact that Dwayne Martin doesn't do anything to make money, and he's like a schemer scammer, which I listened to kind of like I listened to a YouTube video about Dwayne Martin and that whole thing with him and Jada and Tisha and Lisa Ray and Will Smith. And it really kind of seems like his caricature on the Real House Husbands is maybe not so loosely based. I don't know. I don't know the guy, so I don't want to sit there and start on that. But him and Tisha have been together for 20 years, and a lot of the tea that's come out that circled around is one, he was allegedly abusive to Tisha. Two, that it was he was also the reason behind why Tisha was having issues on Martin. Like he was uncomfortable with the scenes, the intimate scenes between Tisha and Martin. And another thing that happened was Lisa Ray always talks about how Dwayne Martin introduced her husband, who was he was a I want to say in Barbados, in the Bahamas, in the islands. He was he was like a leader in the Bahamas or something. I am so sorry. I'm horrible when it comes to complete tea. But basically, the guy that she was dating, um, he was really cool friends with him, but he facilitated situations where her husband could cheat on her with different people, including a famous comedian's wife. Right. So he has a pretty like unsavory rap, especially with a lot of Tisha's followers. But you know what what else is new? So he has said that he is engaged, right? I put gets married. That was my fault. So I'm gonna pull up her name. Let's go, Dwayne Martin, boom, and tell you the name of his girlfriend, his fiance. I'm sorry, her name is Ashley Marie Jones. This is her. Marie Jones is a fair skinned woman. I'm not quite sure if she's biracial. It looks like it as I look through her Instagram post. It looks like that maybe she might have some, some other type of maybe some African American blood in her, but she definitely is very fair skinned. And if this was slavery times, one could say that she's passing. And so, but she's light skinned. So some could say that he has a type. I don't know, but she is a model. I'm not sure her age, but she does look pretty young. If I had to guess, she looks like she's in her 20s, maybe 30s. She does not look like she's that old. Dwayne Martin, of course, is in his 50s. So of course, people are just like, "Mm." Now I don't follow a lot of Dwayne Martin. Based on his persona, that what I see, I think the guy is funny. But again, I don't know him. I don't know him as a person. So he's getting engaged. I'm like, okay, cool. He's been divorced for like a couple years. Yeah, you should go and go out here and get married and do your thing. Well, a lot of I don't know if these are just his followers, if these were followers from Tisha's page, but they went over to his Instagram and they've been reading him his rights. Let's get into it because I thought one, I was like, you guys are so petty. Someone says, "Child, I thought this was his and Tisha's daughter. A highlight reel of her career to announce her as your fiance. LOL. Yep, the people were telling the truth about you." So he announced that that was his fiance on Instagram, and he made a reel of just all of her, a lot of her a lot of her accomplishments in her modeling career because she is a model. But he didn't put any video of him in there, any pictures of them. And so some people are just like, "That's weird. You seem a little bit of a like you're sucking the life out of her already. Like you're already a spendthrift. You're already a bum." They already see that, and I'm like, "Wow, y'all have no chill." But let's continue. Your daughter is beautiful. She looks just like you and her beautiful mother, Tisha Campbell Martin. How rude. Campbell Martin, Tisha Campbell Martin to increase his monthly allowance. He must have asked Tisha Campbell Martin to increase his monthly allowance to help him buy that little engagement ring for Princess over here. Was probably like that. So everybody's going in on them. I don't. This is a lot of energy. I don't know these people, but the commenters, they're going to hell for this one. Girl, guard your pocketbook. Did I say that out loud? Ah, Jay-Z. I don't even know why y'all share this stuff to the internet knowing they're gonna eat you up with their first class ticket to hell. Facts. I had to like that one because facts, but he should be allowed to use the internet. Like just because, people don't like what they perceive to happen. Um, and I say perceive because I don't know. I don't know that relationship. So I think it's rude for me to be like, oh yeah, he did that shit. Like I need more proof. Do I think he's a little bit of a like Tisha was the breadwinner? Absolutely. Like the court documents show that she was the breadwinner. So yeah. Um, does he have some dusty characteristics? I could see that, based on what's been out there. I could see that. But again, I don't know the guy. Duane Martin, turn off the comments on black women are living up to that bitter, angry black woman stereotype. Are we calling the men that too? Because they're talking shit too. And there are guys in the comment. Because the other thing about Duane Martin that I didn't tell you is that there's rumors swirling that Duane and Will Smith, again, I don't know these people, but because of that rumor, a lot of guys are looking at him with a major side eye. We don't care about your love life doing our girl the way you did. I hope she milk you for everything you took our girl for. Or congratulations. Oh, congratulations. Nah. Now, to be fair, from what I understand, after the divorce, they neither of them had to pay alimony to each other. They just split the cost of everything. And Tisha did come back and say she had only $7. So people tend to relate to people who are in those situations, in the same situation that they're in. Tisha wasn't light enough. Oops, did I say that? How does Will Smith feel about this? Isn't that people y'all are wild? The moral of the story is sometimes you gotta keep your private things off the internet. Like I get that he wants to share how awesome he is, but I would have cut off my comments or I would have privatized my page. I would have had a private page and I would have had a public page because I understand that he still needs to have that page for work. I mean, I would assume work. But I definitely would keep things private. And the fact that he did leave it open so people can comment, I would have, that's your girl. Like your comments, Dwayne. And it's not me blaming him or making and saying that he's at fault for all of this shenanigans. But people are gonna people. And one of the ways to protect your peace is you got black people. On my Instagram page, I don't mind healthy discussions. I don't mind healthy exchange of ideas. I'm not for trolling. I don't need some people who are just like, oh, you can't handle trolling. Nope, sure can't. Blocking it. For what? What do I need trolls for? Why do I need to have my stuff so people who don't really care about what I'm doing, they're just there so that they can become, bigger and grow their account or so they can be nasty to me. Why would I give them that energy and that time and that platform? He should ban cut off these comments. Shame on him. How is this child? I mean, fiance. Your daughter is beautiful. She looks just like you and her beautiful mother. Wow. And I think Tisha's like a little bit browner, and she has a little bit bronzer to her. But the girl is young. She is pretty young. So uh, let's keep on. So let's talk about the halftime performance. Usher, 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 do 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 do. Yeah. First of all, one of the things I didn't know that was Will I Am that night. I'm gonna go find a picture of him because again, this is short, so I can't be here all night. I did not know that was Will I Am up there. At first, I was like, "Oh snaps, Kanye back!" And then when the song started, I'm like, "Oh, that's Will I Am." And he's Will I Am he has like that eccentric type of taste and look about him because he does like eccentric things. So once you saw that, it's like, oh, it's Will I Am. Nobody really asked for that, but you're here. So hey, man. Alicia Keys went up there. People were making fun that her voice cracked when she first started, but from my knowledge, which is very little, I don't see Alicia doing a whole lot of shows and concerts. It really just seems like she just kicked back and has been a mom and just been doing her mom thing. So, sometimes happen. You get a little air in your throat, a little dust. Maybe you went to go clear your throat before you started and they caught you at the wrong things happen. So I'm not gonna down the whole halftime show for it. But you see down here, my man took off his shirt. He's trying to show you he still got it. Ooh, sweaty Usher. And then they were out here on the field dancing and everything. He even got up there and he had a stripper poles. He was on roller skates. Here's my thing. I don't understand what people expected Usher to do. I thought it was a great halftime show. Skates. I can't get on those skates and do it in a choreography. Now he has a skate choreography part with his Las Vegas residency. So you could tell he pulled that from that. He had the pole dancers, and they weren't like all busting it out in the open. They were actually classy pole dancers. All right. I know some of you guys think that's like a an oxymoron, but pole dancing, it's a strength, it's a form. There's people in other countries that do forms of pole dancing. So, I get that what strippers do it for, okay, but they actually were very controlled, very cool. It looked great. It was a lot of high energy. Usher was singing on the mic. His mic was on. Okay. And when I tell you people who can dance at that level, I am a part of the Beehive. All right. Beehive fan till I die. I will say that Beyonce dances hard. She does her thing, but Usher, he did more. And Beyonce, she had a knee injury, so she was still doing a lot, but Usher was doing a hell of a lot and was still maintaining that pitch as a man who was doing everything. Like it was an amazing show. People were talking about it was mid. So I asked people like, well, if you didn't like Usher, what performance were you guys interested in? Coldplay. Oh, you mean Bruno Mars and Beyonce? Because that's all I remember from that one. People hardly even remember Coldplay was in there. Beyonce, Bruno Mars, Coldplay shot themselves in the foot. They brought like two of the biggest stars of all time into their show, and they thought that it was gonna be a triet. I don't. It couldn't be a duet because it's just it's two. But they thought it was gonna be a triet. They fucking wrong. And then look at Usher and Alicia Keys. They had that song, my boo, my oh, my oh, my oh, my oh, my boo. Horrible. No, my boo, my boo. Started when we were younger. You were mine. My boo. Okay, maybe I'm okay with that note. I can finish on that. But look at that. It is so crazy. Like this song came out and I was in high school. This show performance was a took me back down memory lane just to see where you're at, where you're coming from. Aging, it's a whole new party game. So us also that's why when I see Usher, like dude is 40 some odd years. Oh, I think it's like 42, 44, and he was killing it. So I don't know what the fudge y'all want from him. Like what y'all basically want him to just murder himself and then bring himself back to life on stage, and y'all still be like, I've seen better. Like you can't please everyone. That's a lesson to it. You cannot please everyone. No matter how hard you work in life, no matter what you do in life, no matter how hard you grind in life, there is still going to be someone who has something to say about what you do. Ignore him, man. This dude's a millionaire about to get married. He's good. I thought this was CeeLo. It is Jermaine Dupri. And I don't have the full outfit on here, so I'll take the picture and I'll put it in my post. But it looks like he's one of those. He looks like a little leprechaun with like little lace socks on. I'm gonna try to find in my head. I have a picture of something, and it's from an old movie, and I can't remember what movie it was. But I'm gonna type it in, and I'm gonna find out, and I'm gonna post it. And y'all gotta tell me, are they not twinning? I didn't even know that. I thought it was CeeLo before I saw the concert because I didn't watch the Super Bowl. First of all, this halftime performance was so boss. I didn't even know who won the Super Bowl. Super Bowl. I had to go out to Google. First, usually Facebook, you see everything. I had to go to Google and figure out who won the Super Bowl. Nobody was even talking about the Super Bowl on my timeline, which the Chiefs. I believe the Kansas City Chiefs won. So if I'm wrong, correct me. I didn't watch it. I don't know. But when I saw this picture, I was like, I wonder what CeeLo was doing on there because Ludacris was out there, Lil Jon was out there. They did the yeah, that was fire. He did some hits. Um, CeeLo, and I was like, well, how does CeeLo how does he fit into this? And it wasn't CeeLo. It's Jermaine Dupri. Growing up, I'm so used to him having those braids all those years, but you gotta get rid of them sometimes. You gotta get older. You gotta let go of the things that happen. You know who you didn't see? Diddy. Moving on. So, man, so after doing like a crazy tour over the past year and a half, Beyonce, ma'am, when do you sleep? Like you are not a human being. People complain like she doesn't write her own music. Okay, yeah, I get it, but she also puts out music, quality content, I believe, a lot. I don't think a lot of her stuff is garbage. I think a lot of it is showing different dimensions of her. So Beyonce, how did we even get here, right? So the first thing that Beyonce did was she dropped a commercial. She was in the Verizon commercial. Not expecting that. Like, what the French toast? Not expecting a Verizon commercial. After she dropped the Verizon commercial, at the end of it, she was like, well, let me let you see it. Let's see if it I guess I didn't put it down. But that's the oh, here it is. Oh, who came to see me? Who real like me? Don't make me get up out my seat. Oh.
Broke the internet again.
Did you post this?
No.
So I'm not gonna put the whole thing because of course copyright reasons, but we're gonna if you want to see the whole video, it's called Can't Be Broken and it's a Verizon video, which I loved it. First of all, kudos that Beyonce doesn't really do interviews like that anymore. And I love it because she does control her whole entire image. You guys, some of you guys are younger and you don't remember or you never saw it. Beyonce used to do a lot of interviews, but once she started getting to a certain level of superstar status, like people started to really mess with her, started misconstruing her words purposely. They really started to the interview started to not be fun. I remember one time she had they would sneak all kinds of things into the interview that she didn't talk about. She didn't authorize. Usually when you have interviews with people, they give you a list of, hey, we're gonna go over these things. And then when they have those interviews, they go off grid and she's just like, nah, I'm not feeling that. So what I'm going to do is I'm at a point where I don't even need these interviews. We're just going to not even do those. So I remember one time somebody had won a dinner with Beyonce. So it was like Beyonce, it was them, another person, and they it was a PETA person in disguise. PETA, People for Ethical Treatment of Animals. And they had won the show, won the little dinner, and they sat there at the dinner and they started asking Beyonce like a lot of questions about animal cruelty and why does she wear fur. And at first she's there, she's like, "Hey, I'm having a good time," and then like the person started asking questions. She was like, and the person was recording it because I think they thought she was going to go ham, but she kind of was like, help. And they got him up there. He's like, all right, let's go. Let's get out here. Which I feel is horrible. Like a real life, I would have loved to sit there and talk to Beyonce for dinner. I wouldn't even ask her questions about music or anything. I would have just vibe with her, like, oh my goodness. It's so crazy. I mean, if I could not be starstruck, but she doesn't really do a lot of concerts and stuff. She doesn't really, or interviews and things like that. Guest starring roles as much as she used to do. She was on SNL and she performed on SNL. She had a little part in there with her, Justin Timberlake, Andy Samberg, and was it Horatio Sands? Maybe Horatio Sands or the other guy who was on there, but they were like the dancers. It was hilarious. They're like, we're the dancers. This is when Single Ladies came out. And Beyonce, in my opinion, she has such a fun personality, but you don't get to see it anymore because once the bigger and bigger she got, the more mindful you have to be. A lot of people feel like she's manufactured because they don't get to see that, but you know, I take it more so she controls her image. When you just have your image out there and you just let a lot of people who don't really care about you, who don't really love you, who don't give a fludge about you, control your image, you get a lot of fuck shit. Sorry, you get a lot of that. So I thought it was so cool to be able to see her personality. But check this part out. This is what sent everybody.
Well, not on purpose. Well, it's coming in hot. It's Verizon 5G. The network. You ain't gonna break me. Still works. Okay, they ready. Drop the new music.
Drop. So everybody's like, drop the new music. What are you talking about? Well, I'll tell you what she's talking about, everybody. I tell you what she's talking about. Oh, well, I can't tell you that right there. But but unfortunately, so she released two new musics. She two new music, and that's a weird way of saying, but it was country music. She released a country two country songs. One is called 16 Carriages, one is called Texas Hold'em. And remember, and if there's just one thing about Beyonce, like she gives you a little hint, but you don't know what's about to happen until it's happening. And then it's like, oh, so she tells you that it's going to be released on March the 29th. Okay. She's been wearing her cowboy hat. She's been sporting platinum blonde hair. It really gives me Tammy Wynette, Dolly Parton, Dusty Springfield, like that old 70s, 80s country feel. Now you have people who are not feeling it. A lot of people, I've seen, especially those who like country, they don't like it. I feel like this. Beyonce is at a point in life where who cares if you like her music? And beyond this album could be the first album that tanks. It could tank. It could never grow to be anything else. It could suck, right? But Beyonce has so much money. She's got so much influence that she could stand to take an L and still be that chick. Okay? She influencing culture. And I know you're like, you're a part of the beehive. I am, but these are also facts. A lot I have issues with a lot of people when it comes to music. And you have to be subjective and being objective, right? They're subjective, right? Music is different for everyone's taste. Everybody's not going to like the same thing. Some of us are just Beyonce fan. I'm a LeBron fan. That means I'll follow LeBron to whatever team he joins. I'm not a bandwagon. That's how I've been since LeBron had got into the game. Bandwagon people are when someone is up, then they're like, oh, I'm this fan. And when they're down, they're on somebody else. Those are bandwagon fans. I've always been a LeBron fan. I got to watch him when I was in college. Beyonce. I've been a Beyonce fan since Crazy in Love came out. Wasn't a fan of Destiny's Child and Destiny's Child because of just how it was portrayed, how she was portrayed. To me, it felt like she was a bitch because she kicked everybody out the group. But there was several types of nuances with that, and it wasn't so straightforward. It wasn't so cut dry like that. But I've been a Beyonce fan, so I'm gonna rock with her no matter what because also of our age, we're close in age, and I kind of feel like, with the exception of the kids and husband at this point, I feel like the growth that she experiences, I've gone through it as well. It's a maturing of life, it's a maturation of the different styles that you go through. I love that about Beyonce, and I love the fact that she's at the point where she wants to try whatever. She did that house music, that album kicked it. She's doing this country album. I liked her Daddy Girl from Lemonade, that little taste of country there. That was fun. I am I'm excited to see where she goes with this album. I might not like it, but again, I love the fact that she keeps doing what she loves and she's great at it. People keep telling her to sit down. For what? She's in her 40s. Okay. Does she like doing what she's doing? Does it pay her bills? Then what are we here for? Okay? I am not I'm not a Michael Jackson fan. I'm not a Michael Jackson fan. His voice is cool. His talent is amazing. His skills are amazing. Him as an entertainer is amazing. This is a guy that people look at and pass out, okay? I can't deny Michael Jackson's talent. He's not my top artist, but I cannot deny his talent. You will never hear me say that he's untalented. He can't sing, he can't dance. You will never hear me say that about Michael Jackson because I recognize his talent. You have a lot of people who can be objective with Beyonce. You might not like her voice. It might not be that soulful, earthy voice, and that rich, deep tone like a Jennifer Hudson, that alto, like um, some of your other big name singers. She may not have that. But to sit there and fix your lips to lie on Beyonce's internet and say that she can't sing just because you don't like her, that's absurd and insane. That is a gift, that is a talent. She's great at it. You can tell she loves it. I feel like when people are really good at what they do, they excel in it and they can be the best. A lot of people don't find their passions in life. And because they don't find their passions in life, they tend to work jobs that make the money, that gets them through. And that's okay, because sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Some people don't know what their passions are, but she knows what her passions is. And if you found your passion, I don't care how old you are, unless it's something where it's completely like unhealthy for you to do that age. I mean, find a different way to do it healthier. Find a different way that you can do it in your older age. Evolve. Your gifts and your crafts can evolve. Your crafts can evolve with you. Do what you love. Don't let no one out here tell you to stop because they have a perceived idea of when you should stop. Because those persons are not paying your bills. You are. Those persons are not living your life. You are. So you can listen to people who really don't want the best for you, or you can continue to do what moves you, what drives you, what motivates you. Right? Finally, this is the last one, right? Black women on a cruise ship being a ratchet. So I'm on my Facebook, minding my business, drinking my water, minding my business. Let me drink some water. I feel my throat getting a little dry. I gotta fix that. So I'm on my Facebook page, minding my own business, and bam, this guy shares these pictures of these three women who are, it looks like they're in robes. And mind you, these robes look like they got a little matching. They I think one might have a bino. I scratched out their faces because I think unless somebody, it's one thing for you to catch people in the background, but for you to focus on persons and to clown them and ridicule them, I think that is I think that is just cruel. It gives a lot of mean girl energy. Um, it it is saddening because this is a black man who did it to black women. So in their mind, in this um jerk's mind, he feels like he's giving them correction because some of the men in the comments are just like, "Yeah, you gotta do this. Is how you correct them." But let's go into it. So the guy posted, meanwhile, during breakfast, you can always count on the unexpected. They are heading to the buffet. So I didn't have time to get the comments. But let me pull up some of these comments so I can read them to you because it's just wild. And I also think I don't like it is right now it's a really in thing to do right now to make fun of black women and to poop on them and to really to really just to shit on them. No matter what. Like these are minding their business. I can understand if they're out here being ratchet in the street. I can understand if they're on a cruise ship and they're over here twerking over the buffet. You know, like I get that these women are minding their own business at breakfast, and it's you got to be careful when, especially as a black person, post this. I hate to make this a racial thing because people are all racist watch this, but as a black person, when you post this type of stuff, this is not the way you do it because you lead it to a lot of people who already are looking for reasons to shit on black women. Oh, well, let's see. So embarrassing. They should be ashamed. but clearly they're not. Let's see here. What else? Carnival Liberty, that's all. I hate respectability politics. They pay the money and minding the business. So those are people who are against it, right? Child, they're on vacation. Leave those ladies alone. I miss the days before cameras on phones. They pay for their vacay like everyone else. They aren't bothering anyone. The need to shame people for likes is disturbing. So I love that. I love that a lot of people are against him doing this. This lady says, I would never, however, they paid for their cabin and their robes, would not impact the quality of my cruise whatsoever. Looks like they have clothes underneath. I enjoy my vacation no matter what other folks are doing. Is this any worse than people walking to the buffet in swimwear? These women's parts are at least covered. And that's true. I'm one of those persons where I'll try at least put on a shirt, but I stay in a swimsuit the whole time on a carnival cruise. Just because it's a cruise, it's vacation. I don't get to walk around my swimsuit all the time in Ohio. It's cold as hell out here. I can't do that. I'm out here in the Bahamas where it's like 90 degrees. Yes, I'm wearing as little clothes as possible. I am one of those persons. I'm me. I'm the swimsuit person all the time, but I'm a water baby. So as soon as I hit that cruise ship, I'm in the hot tub, I'm in the pool, I'm back in the hot tub, I'm in the pool, I'm laying out in the sun, I'm back in the, like I'm all about water. The only time I'm wearing clothes is when I need to wear clothes at the dinner time. Um, in the morning, I wear like a little cover it over it because I did read you have to at least have yourself covered. So I'll put a little cover on top of my swimsuit, put it underneath it because I like to get it in. Or when we go to events like you have the comedy shows that sometimes they have, or places where you need to be covered. But if we're out deck side, if we're top side, I ain't got a lot of clothes on. The fact that you wanted to further embarrass or shame them is no better. So it looks like a lot of people are against this dude. Like this guy thought he was about to get the everybody on his side, and everybody was like pooping on him. Let me see uh what other people were saying. Um, Carnival Hood Life. Let's see. My mother told me never to wear my pajamas outside. It gives trifling vibes. Royal Caribbean would never. So a lot, and there's a lot more people who Carnival equals Spirit Airlines of the Sea. There was some more thing. Oh, and these are grown women. Here we go. People, we have to do better. Let's continue to teach our daughters to keep it classy. On Liberty, of course. They could have done room service. We have breakfast closed because none of our crew is allowed to come out like that. Someone says, LOL, this backfired on you quick. It sure did. Trifling as F. Lord, I'm sick of them. I'm sure they will get mad if they're asked to return to the room and get dressed first. Dressed first. These people, right? Putting sisters on blast for few likes. So it looks like before it was more people who would say more racially charged things like they're ratchet, they're ghetto, as you saw. This is why black women can't find a man. Like just a way for them to poop on them. Now, my point of view. I don't know that I would. I don't see myself coming out this way. I don't think I've taken my robe out of the room. Like I just don't see me doing this. This is during breakfast time. This is not during the day where the festivities are going on. This is in the morning. A lot of these places where it's like a home alone, a home away from home, they tout this is home. Treat it like home. People can be getting up, going to get a little breakfast, eating, going back to the room. Let's go get a breakfast real quick, go back to the room, get changed, and do our thing. You don't know if I don't know if they have swimsuits underneath it. One chick, she just has she might have a swimsuit underneath their cover. I don't know enough about their situation to sit here and make a determination on their character. That's what I don't like. That's cool that you don't think this is acceptable to walk out your room like that. I'm fine with that. Because everybody has their rules. Like there's certain things where I'm like, okay, I try when I go out. I think one time I got in the car, totally forgot my bonnet was on. I was like, oh shoot. I make sure I don't go out the house with my bonnet on because I think it's tacky. But what I won't do is I'm not going to take a picture of you and put it on the internet so that millions and millions of people can see it so they can tear you down for what? Like, what do you think that's going to do to people? What if you don't know what happened to, what if she's going through a tough time in her life? What if somebody in her family died? What if this is the first cruise she's ever been on? Like, you don't know what's going on in these people's life. And this guy is rude. He's rude. He's like the bottom of your shoe. Rude. You Somebody was like, well, somebody's got to put a stop to this. They won't listen. So wait a minute. Did you go talk to him first? That's one of my first things. Did you? If you felt so strongly about that, go say something to him about it. But you're not, because you pussy. You're not going to say anything to them. But what you'd rather do is post it on the internet and talk about them behind their back because you're pussy, right? If it's not directed, it's not respected. And this is a man who's married, and which I am shocked. Like, that seems like super catty behavior for a married man. And as his wife, I would have never allowed him to put that on the internet. We You could sit there and clown them in private, like, girl, you see what she wear? Oh my god, like, that's cool. Like, what I don't know, I don't know. But this right here, this is always going to be on the internet. These ladies' faces are shown. You couldn't even give them the decency of covering their face. I hate that. I hate when women do this when they're at the gym. There's women who go to the gym and they'll sit there and they'll what's that word I want to use? They'll be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm over here um getting ready to get workout, and this guy behind me, he's looking at me like a creeper. Oh my god. Like, I hate, like, bitch, he wasn't even looking at you. He was looking over there at that dude who's sexier than you since you fooling. Like, I hate that. And this is the other thing that I hate because a lot of people try to make it seem like, oh, it's a ratchet, it's a black woman issue. What color are these people? And I put this up here. I also scratch out their faces because, again, this is their personal picture, and I really don't. But I want to make it a point that people have posted this in his comments several times, and no one really made a comment. And when they did make a comment, it became, well, we're not worried about them. Why are we worried? We have to do this 20 times hard. Stop that. Stop that conversation. I hate that people, there's basic rules and social norms that we adhere to in life. Don't kill anybody, don't steal, don't rape. Like, these are rules and laws we need to have. We should have social norms of, hey, when we're in public, we should dress a certain way. We should have clothes on our body, right? We shouldn't have nudity like that. But if you want to dress like a clown in public and it doesn't affect me, why am I worried about that? These people here are having a time, and like, you're on when you're and if you've never been on a cruise, some people, they go on vacation and they feel like vacation is the time for them to dress up every day. Baby, I dress up every day at home. Vacation is not that I don't need to stunt on vacation. I'm already am what I am, right? But when I'm on vacation, it's not necessarily mean that I'm gonna slack. I'm still gonna look good. But some people feel like you have to be to the nines with, when I go to vacation, I always match. All right, that's cool. If it's breakfast time on a cruise, breakfast time on a cruise is like from 7 to 11, something like that. People have been partying and probably didn't get to bed till like 4 or 5 o'clock the night before. They didn't go to bed till about 4, 5 p.m. the night before. So now they're getting up, trying to regulate, trying to regulate their kidneys and their liver, trying to pull themselves together, and they're going to the buffet. I've seen people working at a hotel. I have seen people and traveling in a hotel, people who have come down to the morning buffet dressed all kinds of which ways, and they were not black. So the fact that, this is what the focus is on, the fact that he's posting this, it really just shows like he's just a mean girl. And that's just he's just mean. That's just mean, mean, mean. Get your own business. If you're so when I go out, unless it's something where it's just like, oh no, that's unruly. That's horrible. I'm not putting anyone on blast because I'm too busy worrying about myself. When you go on a carnival cruise, if you do it right, you should be having a good time. I mingle with people, I hang out with people, I make new friends. Like life is good, you know. Um, this is fuck shit. I don't want to use that word too much because I want to sprinkle it in where need be. But this is this week's fuck shit. If I could come up with a a list, an award. This is my fuck shit award for the week because this is raggedy. This is horrible. And this guy should feel bad, but he doesn't because you know what? The small percentage of people are going to make him feel emboldened. Because again, should you come out the house like that? I don't think so. That's not my thing. But I damn sure is not going to waste my time taking a picture and putting it on the internet because I don't know what type of day you had. I don't care that you should always come out to knives. I don't know what kind of day you had. That little 10-second time I saw you, that little 4 minutes time that I saw you, that little 10-minute window where I saw you, that doesn't tell me enough about you for me to make a assumption, one large enough that it can make things a bit more difficult with you. People don't understand there's so many crazy people on the internet. When you post things like this, people will be in your inbox saying all kinds of crazy stuff. And the fact that you did nothing to this man and he did this. That's a shame. I could be here all night, but people, please mind your business. If you feel like you gotta talk about something, someone so bad, talk about them to your friend. If that's the issue, but please stop putting other people and trying to shame them or put them on blast online for clout. That's horrible because especially if you own a business, this guy, somebody said he is a realtor. That's what I thought. I read that he was in real estate, and it looks like he changed it. But this one lady was like, "Oh, I would never. Oh, you're a realtor. I would never buy from you again. Like this is bad. This is bad business. It is, and it's truly bad business." So my final thoughts. Mind your business. Mind the business that paid you. But what was your final part thoughts? What are your thoughts that went on? Please subscribe, hit that notification bell so that every time I'm on every Monday or when I release content, you can come and check it out. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. It has just been a breeze. Look at that. Wasn't that? Didn't that feel cool? I'm trying to stop. Yay! I'm stopping it. Thank you guys so, 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 so much. I appreciate y'all. This was great. Let me tell you guys, I thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to come back every Monday at 9 p.m. I will be on time with Champagne Thoughts. Please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Leave a comment on what you think about any of the topics tonight. Um, Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. I hope you have a great evening. Be safe, be sound, be loved. Bye.